I'm Brian Posehn. You may know me from my stand-up comedy, or from the TV shows I've been on, like the Sarah Silverman program. I love comic books, metal, and anything nerdy, except furries. They're gross. But that does include Dungeons & Dragons, which I've been playing with the same group of my funny friends for a decade now. So we decided to record us playing the game and turn it into a podcast, and we call it...
Nerd Poker, Dungeons & Dragons with Brian Posehn and friends.
Blaine! Ken!
Sarah!
Sark. Don't forget Gerry.
So, you're listening to Nerd Poker.
Oh, wait, we were recording?
Yeah, sure.
All right.
D&D with BP and F. I did that last time. Dungeons & Dragons with Brian Posehn and my friends. I'm missing a very good friend this evening. Blaine Capatch is not in last episode or this one.
Because he made a tiny friend inside of his wife's vagina.
Yeah, that's part of it. But no, also
You gotta bone up on your anatomy.
Yeah, they really make it inside the vagina?
His new little friend climbed out of her vagina.
That's not what happened.
It's not what happened.
they don't really climb.
And attacked him.
This is the
Whatever,
American
you
school
guys
system.
read it. All I can say to all of you is just read a book for once in your lives, idiots.
That
My
book,
guy got-
how everything happens in the vagina.
Poop, pee,
My kid's a belly baby.
Oh yeah.
He got cut out of the belly
Oof, nice.
Yeah.
Like a samurai.
of my wife.
Oh, okay.
And I watched.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's
ugh.
horrible.
really?
Yeah,
Why?
Yeah, I did too.
Because I can't look away at those sort of things, even though I want to, and I did. But it's a small room, and the shit's happening right in front of you.
That's why
and
I
you're
just feel
holding
like-
you're holding your wife's hand and talking to her, and
And by the way, she's like very immobilized.
yeah, and right next to her
Doesn't it feel like maybe
is
we
a
should go back to
dude
the
and a couple
cigar
of
era?
helpers.
I would have vomited right
I
on
don't
her chin.
Yeah, I would have.
I don't have any kids, but it seems like maybe just
would've
if
fainted
we
right
all
there.
be in different
Well,
rooms.
here's the. I got, at least for my part.
But you've
it was
seen
like,
as much gore as I have.
It's fake gore.
I know, but you're not a little
in like the 30s, they
desensitized?
just
If I
like
go
put
and
women
I can't
under,
even
and then you
get
woke up
blood
and just had a
drawn.
baby, and that sounds pretty
that's
sweet.
true.
To me.
How about you?
I don't know.
Because you've seen as much
Yeah,
gore
but
as
I
me.
think then they figured out like what the anesthesia does to the brain.
Oh well, too bad. Seems a lot easier.
If you cut yourself, are you fucked?
No. The blood wouldn't weird me out. I don't know. I'd be more afraid that she was gonna shit on the bed.
Oh. Well,
That
my
happens,
situation
Because
was
she does that all the time.
they cut her open because
not-
they thought she was going to die. So,
Oh, it was like emergency?
yeah. So for me, it was like, yeah, let's get him out and keep her alive. So
Did you like low jack her or something while she was open?
what?
Yeah.
What? That seems like a perfect opportunity to
What the
put a
fuck
put
are
a
you talking
GPS
about?
chip.
Put a chip in there? Yeah.
Oh, I thought that was some sexual thing. Like,
Doctor,
Yeah, this is way less
could I have a
disturbing than
moment
that.
with my wife?
Low jacking.
I'd like to
is
jack off into
it's
her
a
open
very
belly.
difficult method. It's laying on your belly on the
Lowjacking is
floor
when
and
you finger the
cranking
butthole.
it
Why don't I get the
Of a
baby out
sleeping
first,
person.
Ken? And
All of your children are going to listen to this one day.
no, we're all. Yeah, maybe. The doctor, though, when he said,
So
hey,
anyway,
would you
did
like,
you
hey,
jerk
would you
off,
like to
Brian?
stand up and meet your son? And so I'm thinking, oh my God, he's already
Yeah.
here. And so I stand up, and then he's like reaching inside, pulling him out, and I'm like, I've made a terrible.
I don't.
choice.
Yeah, it just seems like
No, but it was really wonderful, and then
no.
it was it was.
I
Fun.
would be laid out on the floor. It would be a fucking TV show.
I think
Don't you
no,
agree?
but you know what's interesting
Bonk.
is I think there's a certain amount of that because the whole operating theater then is looking at the doctor. Everyone's doing their own thing, but then it's like, hey, want to see him? And then it's a test. Is like, hey, is this guy going to pass out?
it's fun for them.
Yeah.
So it would be bad to
almost-
let out
I'd
a shrill shriek and scream, "I'm never fucking you again," and then run out of the room.
I'd almost be
do, I'm
more
sure.
grossed out by watching like this fucking worn out vagina like just sort of slowly spit this thing out than
That's
seeing what
also
I
not
saw.
how it works.
Wow.
So your kid and your wife hopefully will never
No
listen
one
to any
here.
No,
of this.
well, my wife was cut with using these beautiful, pristine instruments,
Right, but
and
the
this
worn
really
out
smart guy.
As
that
opposed to
went
the baby coming out of
Of
her
her
worn out vagina.
yeah. Well, the vagina, like.
Tell us, do tell. He was making a lot of hand gestures. The vagina.
Hang on, let me get your wife on the phone.
Please.
The You know what was cool though is the baby
And then
can't
because
see.
it takes weeks for the vagina to get back to its old tiny tight
Fighting
thing.
weight?
Yeah, it's fighting weight.
It's fighting weight.
It's like a UFC match. You can't fight again right away.
And then there's the episiotomy.
Oh,
Nah, I'm
heard
done.
about that.
I'm done.
Yeah.
What about degloving?
Google it.
Do you guys like
Yeah, Google
degloving?
it. Don't
We
Google
haven't
it.
even recapped yet.
No.
This is a nightmare.
What happened
Do you-
last week?
He probably doesn't even know. This would make you pass out just to know what it was.
What's that?
The episiotomy.
I don't know. I've Googled blue waffles. Is it worse than,
What the fuck? I don't know what that is.
is it worse than blue waffles?
I don't know what
No
that
one
is.
knows what that
Waffles
is
are-
except for you and apparently
Brian's
one
going
person.
for his phone right now.
I've been suckered into blue waffles before, and I've smoked so much pot I don't remember.
Not since Lemon Party.
What's
Yeah.
what's
All right,
what's
here we
blue
go.
waffles?
I don't.
We're filming Brian Googling blue waffles now.
Will it even
Lord.
I
come
don't
up
know.
on my phone?
Maybe it's just a delicious breakfast treat.
Blue waffles.
I know I looked
Wow,
at this
no one has
before.
ever looked as excited as Sark looks.
I'm so happy I'm not looking at his
God.
phone.
He might as well be
Yeah.
rubbing his hands together.
There's a picture of blue. Next time you go down on your
Hey,
girlfriend.
are you sure you didn't make this up?
Oh, you know what's right next to it is an ad for Eggo blueberry waffles. But it's apparently something that happens to a vagina, right?
Yeah.
Oh, what? It's something that happens to it?
Oh, wait.
Oh, God.
When you hit it
Do-
with a
do we actually
meat
wanna know
pounder?
this?
or
No,
what?
I have to hit like an 18+ thing to even look at it.
Why do you have to look at
I
it? Can't
don't-
you just give us
It's
an
an
overview?
STD. Yeah,
Jesus.
yeah, I'm not looking at it.
Okay. Yeah.
Really? Couldn't you just get okay? What's a summary? Just a quick.
Aren't you the world record holder for meat spin? And this is something that's like
Oh, Jesus. There's actual blue waffles next to this horrible.
Don't throw up on me. I feel like Sark is about to throw up on me.
Well, just for the listener, like this has
Don't
happened.
look it up.
Our entire, D&D thing, we've always been derailed over real things. Like
Yeah.
one time we came in and Ken showed us Mr. Hands.
Yeah.
I love
No,
Mr. Hands.
I didn't watch that, and I still haven't. And I have.
No, but
Still
we
one of the
spent
funniest videos on the
I
internet.
can't
heard
believe
it.
that
We
no
spent
kid
an
has ever
hour
turned
at
that
least,
Mr. Hands
like,
video
laughing
into a
about it.
lightsaber video. when the horse kills Mr. Hands, how is that not a lightsaber now? What?
I don't know.
Oh, like make the horse cock? I don't know how to
Yeah.
do that. Yeah,
Yeah,
but
and
you,
then the guy's
you know
like,
how to do that shit.
Yeah, it's After Effects.
I'm like a dad now. I can't get caught
Ken,
doing
there
that.
was a while there when Ken's
But you-
phone
you
would
make
ring and
videos.
Mr. Hands would play. Like that was his ringer.
Mr. Hands
Here's the
is
deal.
Really
the
fucked
dude
up.
that got fucking destroyed by a horse cock.
Yeah. But the great thing about it is he had friends help him. He had guys filming it. He had
much?
Is that
people
the
holding the
great
horse.
thing about it, or is that
Right.
just
Well,
one
it's
of the
it's just what's so stupid and
the
hilarious
great
about
thing.
it. Because he had people helping him kill
Die.
himself,
Sure,
basically.
sure.
It's great.
But
Just
my
because he wanted to
point,
have
my
horse
point
dick in his
was
ass.
that we get easily derailed by terrible things that we've heard. Okay.
Well,
So my wife's
there we
one
go.
out slot.
That's the sound he makes.
Oh my god!
I have
Don't
a
watch
funny-
it if you
I have a
haven't.
funny
Blaine,
story that I
so
won't
Blaine
tell
had a
now
baby
about
come
this Sarah.
2 weeks ago.
That's nice.
Yeah, Blaine had a baby come. Him and his wife had a baby
Really?
come. Yeah.
Blaine's
It
baby
has to
came?
be. It has
Yeah.
to be an unidentified baby.
has to be a stranger
Otherwise, it's
baby.
horrifying.
Well, this skinny dude I know and his adorable
Oh,
wife
in that case,
had a baby come.
anyway,
Well,
we need meat.
Thanks for listening.
Well, the police are here.
I wonder if
so
our
it's been
guidance,
fun, you
like,
guys.
I wonder if my guidance counselor ever listened to the podcast. They'd be like,
Everything worked out great.
Mine gave up on me 30 fucking years ago. There's no way that they're checking in. I wonder how he turned out.
I wanted like, yeah.
All right, recap. we
That's
just
it.
did
That's
well,
episode
actually,
here.
yeah. Speaking of blue waffles, you guys had
we
managed
fucking
to
blue
reel
waffled
in
the shit out of something.
You'd managed to reel in what looked like using. All right, let's properly recap. You guys, you've got a couple different objectives. One of which is the contacting the only species that even remotely has any sort of mystical knowledge, and you wanted to ask if they. Specifically, you guys were just hunting for sort of advice or thoughts on the crawlers, right? The
Yes, the little spider.
and what their nature is. But the Zyrax are sort of a devolving species from what was once sort of a higher existence, and now they have sort of been reduced to more of a shark-like, flying shark-like species. So you guys were instructed you need to get them some food is the best way to lure them without actually having to fight and kill them. You've got...
and so they want to eat our translator.
Yeah, Zissou the Flutterer has bravely decided to flutter on board with you guys.
He's not in any danger.
And you were actually in the wee hours of the morn, or just before dawn. Actually, you were fishing for meat and critters to take to the Zyrax using Sir Richard's glowing hand as sort of a light bait, which is what Zissou recommended. And you got a little like fartipede or whatever. I don't know, a little
fart cucumber.
Yeah. And then you'd managed to sort of reel in one of the large ones. It looks like one of the Zeppelins. It startled you a bit because when you pulled your arm back, the whole door was just filled with sort of a quivering wall of flesh, and you guys
got stabby.
You guys cut it open, and it belched out all of its stinky gas and guts into the ship and all over you guys. But you now are hearing cries for help from one of the humanoids. It looks like this Zeppelin might have actually been in transit and had a passenger and got distracted by your...
Can we keep pulling in the meat and seeing if we can also
get to the person?
Thereby rescue the disgusting person in this meat slug?
You're tied off. Do you want to go down, or should I?
It's slowly just sort of hanging. You're able to support the thing. It's probably, it's probably a couple 100 pounds worth of stuff.
Let me ask you, can I start hauling something in? Will that help this person?
Yeah.
All right.
Well, you think. You're not sure if they're clinging to that side.
I am Sir Richard of Glenishmore. Do you require assistance?
Zissou the Flutterer says, it appears they're screaming for help.
How many are they?
He says, it just sounds like one. It seems this man was dispatched to the tuft, to a neighboring tuft, to warn them of the impending ship.
All right, I tie a rope around my waist and then jump off to go get that guy.
Well, the door is just filled with beef.
I fight my way through it to try to find.
All right, we'll continue to pull in.
Yeah,
pulling in.
You guys are just reeling in.
Disgusting thing.
Yeah, it's like a sail, but made of like cheese whiz and shit.
God damn it.
This episode brought to you by...
I was imagining
cheese
egg
shit.
salad.
Yeah, I didn't want to use mayo because I've used mayo before to gross you out.
If you
Keep
ever
it with
wanted to
yogurt.
eat shit faster, shit whiz.
Keep talking.
All right. You're...
Yes. If you wish to be saved, I don't want more than we...
Flutterer
This guy
translates...
is so cranky, and I apologize for it. I to try to save.
Flutter is translating everything. He's translating.
Let's not. I don't know if they have no fault on this planet. Let's just. We are rendered aid after something happened to his ship. And I look over at the eyeball.
Blackie. I'm playing Blackie today, right?
Yeah.
And Zissou.
Are you looking at Blackie
I'm now
or at
looking
Zissou?
at Zissou.
And you're pointing at
Give him one of these.
Okay.
With my finger.
And he flutters. It doesn't. Not sure if his flying vaginal body understands. Maybe tell him something real simple.
We're gonna forget the details of this and just focus on the good stuff about the rescue of the stranded crew member.
He's like, affirmative. All right, so you guys hand over fist. You just reel in and just start scooting it towards the back of the ship, which just starts to fill up with just sheets of bullshit.
Some of this may have to go back out the side.
We don't know how hungry they are.
But we don't even know if this is edible meat.
Mildred, you've clambered up and out the hatch, and you're sort of clawing your way along the outside of this dangling.
And he will continue to yell if he wishes to be rescued.
Yep. Flutter is relaying all this information. Yes. Yep, including the apologies and the the
Apologies for what?
well.
Okay. Really? We're going to play this game?
No. He's not violating your rule of silence. He's translating
I'm
Mildred's apology
apologizing.
for your gruffness.
Why on
Whatever.
earth
Everyone's
would
shouting,
that
and
require
Flutterer
an
is
apology?
just translating everything. You climb outside. You
Zisu,
go
can
down.
you please speak to Sir Richard, because I don't think that he and I are communicating very well.
Are you shining your hand around, or you're just hauling this thing in? Do you have a source
I don't
of
want
light?
more meat bag. I put my gauntlet on. I'm
Okay.
sick of this. If these assholes won't talk to us because we're feeding them, and then we'll discuss it at sword point. God
okay.
damn it.
So it's dark. Your eyes adjust, and you can faintly, Mildred, you can faintly see. It's really dark out
Okay.
here, but you can faintly see. It seems that, and as the thing is drug in, even dead, the skin shifts colors. So it seems like these things, as a form of defense, because they seem to be pretty helpless, they actually sort of chameleon so they turn black. The ones you've seen haven't been black. They turn black at night to be harder to spot. So it's actually turning into its normal sort of seaweed sewage sewage color. Anyway, you're climbing down the back, and you see outlined against the edges of it, and the cries are less and less muffled, and pretty soon you just see, like, from the inside of this thing, like somebody looks like writhing around inside. Flutter's like,
I rip the skin open.
Oh, he's out here too?
No. She's outside,
Oh.
so she's
Yes.
he is
I am
slowly
tied
being
off.
drug
Yeah.
up into
Yeah.
the ship.
Right.
But
he's
you
inside.
see, yeah.
But just in case he slides out, I'll just be here in case he...
Okay. All right. So you kind of grab onto this thing, and as you guys pull it in, eventually you actually see this lump of person inside there. You can't see an opening. It's folded up somewhere in all this nonsense, so you probably have to cut him out.
What I also want, though, once he's on board, we can hack that thing off and drop the rest of it out the side. Right? We have enough meat. Are we continuing to pull in the entire dead
Does
Zeppelin?
Zisu think that they will eat this?
He's like, oh, this is, they're
Okay,
going to love
perfect.
this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're going to cut him out?
Yeah.
Or we're going to cut him out? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Carefully, you sort of cut the edge.
It's very birth-like,
Yeah.
given our earlier comments. Do a
I
C-section.
saw that coming.
This time,
Called
though,
foreshadowing, bitches.
there's this time there's no juice, though. So whatever pocket or bladder this guy's in is not a... whatever the interior mechanism that the locals use to travel isn't full of sludge. So
Makes
whatever
sense.
pocket he's in seems to be dry. The inside feels just like the outside does. So he climbs out. He's terrified, but also extremely relieved. And he chatters at Zisu, and Zisu chatters back. In a moment, Zisu says he explains like how fortunate it was that you guys came by.
Indeed.
His Zeppelin
It was
had-
very fortunate for you.
Yeah, we saw something terrible must have happened to it.
Zisu winks with like 8 of his side eyes. Like,
I love Zisu.
Let's do something really quickly before
Okay.
we descend. Let's take this person over to the tuft he was going to.
Right.
Drop him off.
Yeah.
And continue on our
Finish
way.
his message.
all right, so you cut off the rest of the meat bag. Yeah.
Yeah.
It just slowly sort of drifts down towards the somewhere the stormbound.
I hope it doesn't fill the Zyrax.
Yeah, they're going to be all stuffed.
We're not hungry.
Seal the door. So smells awful in here.
Awesome.
It smells like you've
Terrific.
all been dirty Sanchez'd.
Terrific.
Blackie and Stargoyle step on it. They zip him over. Following his instructions through Zisu, you head over to a new tuft. Again through Zisu, the rescued fella thanks you profusely for your assistance, and he's like, I'm gonna warn the tuft. You've saved another one, blah, 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 and he bounces off, convinced of your guys' incredible hero status.
I would hope that there would be nothing that would... Of course. That's
Zissou is psyched,
Revere's
though.
horse.
He's like, he already feels like he's on an adventure, just being on like this minor psychological subterfuge that you've done with him.
Take us down, Blackie.
Yep. All right. Nose down towards the center of this world, and Blackie begins to descend. Zissou flutters up. Blackie asks Zissou to come up to the cockpit, and they're keeping an eye on things. This is as the sort of the haze. The sunrise isn't really as defined. There's not a horizon, so it just sort of starts to sort of get the gray light of dawn, and then eventually the sun becomes sort of a faint outline as it rises up enough so the atmosphere is thin enough to see it, and it starts to be just light enough for you to see sort of what's going on around you. You can see way up and behind you as you're oriented now. You can see the tufts sort of dwindling into obscurity, and it does get while the sun comes up and it is getting lighter just because it's daytime. The light does seem to change as you guys descend, and at one point you actually hear distant thunder, but you don't see any lightning. And Zissou warns you. He's like, "We're getting close now." And Blackie sort of eases up on the throttle.
I tie on to the rope, and I open the side door.
All right. So through the side door comes a gust of wind. There's definitely like
At least it's fresh air.
sort of a gale going down here.
I was blown by a gale once. What?
Yeah. I was employed by a gale once.
Kind of.
Jesus. All right. Yeah. So you.
It's also a man's name. Is that what you mean? You were blown by a dude?
Yes.
Gale.
It was Leslie's brother.
Oh.
You.
Leslie was... Never mind.
Yeah. So the ship continues to descend. Zissou's like now he sort of flutters back to you guys. He's like, all right, be on the alert. We're getting near to where the Zyrax live. There is no. Every now and then you'll see bits of debris, but there's no like relatively stationary objects like the tufts or the growth. There's sometimes just debris that seems to be drifting down from up above. This seems to be sort of an intermediate area. And below you, almost like you're looking into deep water, it gets dark. It gets real dark, and then as you slowly continue to descend, you see like the flashes of just the like a cloud being lit from inside with lightning. The atmosphere gets like pretty serious down there, so you can't actually see the bolts of lightning. Zissou shouts back. He's like, Flutter shouts back that this is the place. And to keep your eyes peeled, and to be ready with
Some meat.
Be ready with the meat. He seems
Anxious?
he's a little anxious. Yeah. You've got the door open, and you're getting
Throw down some meat
sort
to you.
of gusted by these strong winds.
I'll announce myself. I am Sir Richard of Glenishmore. Come forth.
You see only minutes go by, and you see shapes moving very quickly. They're on the edges of what you can see through the sort of the gusts of like mist and dust and stuff. But after a few minutes, you notice that, or you're able to discern that there's 3 of these shapes, and they look like... as they get closer, they look like they're about 8 feet long, and they're vaguely humanoid. So they look almost like
Merman?
yeah, kind of. They look almost like angels, sort of. So they have wings, but instead of feathers, it's like webbed wings. But they're humanoid with these wings, sort of no arms. The arms are the sort of wing extensions, and their feet have sort of. It looks like their legs have sort of fused into like a stabilizing surface. It's like a tuft of, or not a tuft, but like a webbed, almost like flippers, but for flying. You can kind of see that this thing must have once been relative, like possibly even walked upright wherever it was from. Which also Blackie observes, says interesting things about the origins of this world, because if they came from down below, then there must be something down there. Anyway, yeah, they fly around, and as they get closer, you see that they're a human's face. So if they were flying, the face would be facing down, right? Where a human's face would be, there isn't a face. So it's just a neck, and then it's just smooth. And their face has somehow moved up to the top of their head. So it's like you do see like little eyes, but the top of the head now splits in this sort of maw of teeth. Obviously, it's shifted over who knows how many eons to be able to sort of capture and seize prey. And you hear hissing. So it's as these guys are flying, sort of very nimble. They never stop flying. They just are zipping circles sort of around.
Let's hack a few pieces off and sort of throw them out there.
You hear them hissing. The meat goes out. A couple of them snip in, and just the meat just like vanishes. Can
you try talking to him?
Zissou, yeah, he's up in the front, as far from the hatch as he can be, but he's watching through the windows. He says he says they're speaking. They're speaking. And he waits. You can barely hear anything. It's hard to even discern the sound of their flying from like their own sort of keening hiss. But Zissou says they're asking why you've descended here.
We need to know some information.
Yeah, we would.
Well, they brought you food.
We bring you the gift of sky meat. And we wish to ask of you some questions, if you would...
Is there one amongst you like a leader?
Okay, so the Zissou, they continue to sort of whistle, hiss, and Zissou says, he's like, they're asking us, they're asking how many of us there are.
Let's play that close to the vest.
Enough?
Don't worry about it.
Zissou translates all these things.
It's not important.
There's an oddly...
I like your maw.
There's like a change of... a slight change of tone.
Could
Zissou says, they're calling you guys clever.
We request a parlay if we could, for the time being, agree that there is no hostility between us. We can produce more meat.
And we've heard that you are very wise, very intelligent, and we need help.
Okay. Zissou says, yes. You bring delicious treats. I see inside your ship. They can't see the back of the ship, so they're obviously just staring at Zissou through the window.
No, he's our compatriot.
Our comrade is not for eating, but
we have far more meat than that.
Yeah, we have more meat for cooperation. We have
not so feathery too.
That one is mostly gristle.
So it says the translation from Zissou says, "Give me the meat, and we will talk."
Let's throw some
We
more
throw
meat.
him a bunch, but not all of it.
Right.
Yeah.
We have have literally square yards of meat. Okay,
let's throw.
So you slide a bunch of meat out there.
I'd go halvesies right now.
One of them zips in, snakes a bunch of it, and the rest seems to be buffeted around by the wind and the low gravity. And you see another 6 appear, making now there's 9, and they devour the rest of the meat. And then spreading their wings, 6 of them continue to spin, and 3 of them sort of link in a sort of almost like a sail. So it looks like they're hovering outside the door where they're looking at Sir Richard with his glow glove and chucking sheets of meat out at him.
What's showing the thing?
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
There's a dark on each of their. So basically, here you're looking at their chins because they're floating angel-like in front of you, but their heads are looking straight up, so you can't see their eyes. But you see each of them cough, like hack and contort, and the other 6 that are flying around you all just wink out of existence as if they'd never been. Blackie calls out, looks like they're, if nothing else, they're illusionists of some type or whatever. So they've created like a false, looks like they created false senses of numbers.
We should take a quick break.
All right.
And we're back.
All right, so now the 3, now hovering right outside the door, the three Zyrax communicating through Zissou. They say, "What is it you wish to ask the Zyrax?"
We have something to show you. That it was an invader from, we believe, off-world.
I show him the dead one? Or?
Yeah. And then we also have several live specimens. We believe they're not of any magic that we can detect, but perhaps a necromancy that is beyond our capabilities.
Are they familiar to you? Do you know anything about these?
So they any sort of tone is lost through being translated through the flutterer. So it's hard to tell if they're just being very blunt or if they're being sarcastic. But they say we would need a closer look. Would you like us to come aboard?
No, I tossed
or would
them
you
the dead one.
give us the? Yeah, okay.
I tossed
They're
them
not
the dead one.
Flutterer just trails off.
Look at this.
Okay, so it flips out there. The 2 of the 3, the 2 outer wings sort of bend in. They have to shift slightly to maintain like their kite-like glide, and it just gently grasps, like pinches the tossed creepy crawly. It holds them up above their maws, so it looks like they're sort of looking at it, and they just say fascinating. This one seems to be decommissioned. Do you have an operating sample?
Yeah,
Mildred, will you retire to your closet?
She does a theatrical curtsy and goes into the locker.
I'll grab one and show it to him.
Flutterer translates. He's like, so there's a connection with your females?
Yes.
Yes, they attack females.
All right.
We believe they're. I also, and not in any way to intimidate them, but I tell them that even though what we know of the people that are launching these attacks, horrible things happen planet-wide, even though it seems very localized. I mean, obviously the last planet was totally destroyed. So we're coming from one dead world and trying to prevent other worlds from dying.
Yeah, so... And you're well, how are you going to get you grab a live one out of the pot. And it's like... I guess you hold it up for them to... I mean, should we...
Yeah, I'll hold it out. I'm not afraid.
Are you tied off as well? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so they look at it, and the translation comes through Zissou. It's like, please, let us... You may release it. We'll take a closer look.
All right.
So it can't see Mildred. It just like it's immediately off, zapping through and it's like hard to even see. But one of the side of the three, the way you're looking, the one on the right, breaks loose, and the second's wing sort of pops up, and those two maintain this sort of hover. And the third one is like a missile. It just goes, and then it's back, and they reform this like sort of three Zyrax formation, and he's got it in his hand, and they all hold it, and you hear them hissing and hacking to each other. And Zisu's saying, he's like, they're talking, I can't understand, they're talking to themselves, I can't hear them. And after a minute, you see the one who, or the two wings that are pinching it, you see them just sort of fold and crush. And there's like the faint, from here it's hard to tell because there's so much wind and everything, but you see the faint sort of the release. And the center one sucks it in.
See, I told you.
And they go fascinating through Zisu. They're like, this is necromancy that we have not seen in generations.
So you are familiar with it, though.
They explain. We don't know. We've never seen the likes of this, but the mechanics of this we are familiar with. It's definitely necromantic. The female spirit tastes delicious. They say who is collecting these souls, these bits of soul?
We only know them as the collectors, but they have ruined planets, and in their wake there's nothing but death. And so I have been charged by Bahamut, this group, to wipe out the collectors.
Inside the locker, also Mildred wants to point out that if they have any information about what they might do with the souls, or if there's a way to get them back or whatever.
And also that they
Zisu says, I think they're laughing. It sounds terrible.
They take the souls and seem to create duplicates of the women.
Yes. They seem to confirm. They're like, whatever the purpose of this is, it is we do not know, because the extraction of a piece of a soul like this is not. While it's not wholesome, it's not advanced necromancy, but on a scale like this, there must be some larger purpose.
Perhaps this is a foolish question, but I'll ask it anyway. Is there any long-term damage to the women that have been attacked by these and been drained of some of their essence?
Whether together or just solo, they just say, we hunger still.
Throw some more meat.
Yeah,
throw more meat.
All right.
Delivery of Omaha steaks.
The formation breaks up as they.
Are we giving it all?
Yeah. You still have
like another.
Still have
give
some.
like another
Okay.
quarter of.
Yeah.
Dole it out.
Yeah. They say the effects will pass for those who have been who have been extracted from.
Yeah, from inside the locker. Okay, wait, can I come out now? By the way, because they just crushed that one, right?
Sure.
You got to talk to your
Okay, I come out of the locker.
I've closed
Fist
the
pump.
pot. The pot is closed.
The pot
again.
is closed and strapped.
Yeah.
All right. They say, this. Make no mistake. These are not the enemy. Whatever purpose is behind this, is what you must fear.
Yeah, it's the collectors or whoever's using these.
Right.
What can you tell us about the storm and what's below?
They just say this below is the storm. It's they say once we lived within the storm, but nothing lives inside the storm any longer.
Good to know.
Everything is torn apart.
Have
nothing.
some stinky meat.
Oh, that last break we took a little while ago, just a minute ago, it was brought to you by Chowderade.
Oh, God.
Pound the chowder. New flavors, Manhattan Slam and Boston Freeze. Shout it out loud, is what Blaine says.
Brian has his phone up and Blaine's tweeting his commercials.
That's great.
That's awesome. What's it? Chowder?
Shout it out loud. Pound the Chowderade, yeah. I guess it's by the makers of Gatorade, I'm guessing.
Or Brown Julius.
Yeah.
Still my favorite.
And other horrible things you don't want to drink.
Or Windows. What was the Windows one? I love to see outside windows.
I like legs. Running, kicking, crouching, dancing legs.
Thanks, Blaine.
Thanks, Blaine.
Thanks, Blaine. Yeah, so it seems that that's about all they can tell you.
So they would be collecting, basically they're saying they would be collecting these for a larger purpose to
And that they have, they can sort of discern basically what the mechanics of this are. Mm-hmm. They've never seen anything built like this, but whatever the reason someone would need that many soul fragments, they're not sure.
Just so you know, this whole system and probably you are in danger from these collectors. They're wiping out everything in their path.
Yeah, they may start with the tufts above, but they have shown, that they're wiping the slate clean. Perhaps, there could be a mutual defense agreement. Would you ever be interested in, if they are attacked, joining the fray?
They say
there's more Zeppelin where that came from.
They say,
have you ever eaten a collector? Are they yummy? I'm guessing they are.
They're like, we know not of these collectors, but we are not against. We have nothing against self-preservation, if that requires teaming up with the walkers and the meat packets. Then that's something that can be done. But they'll wait. We'll wait and see.
Yeah, we'll be in touch.
Keep your eye on the sky. In the meantime, I believe we have a little bit more barbecue.
Yeah. Thank you for your help.
Yeah.
You got anything else
We
you want to
thank
ask
them.
Yep.
Could there be any trading of spells between Blaine and them? Is there any necromancy that we want to? Is there any kind of magical bargaining?
Okay.
Blaine would look for that for Blackie.
Well, I was going to say,
whether or not there is that is another.
and also,
issue.
didn't we have a few items still that we didn't know what they did from
Yes.
way back when? Maybe they would know something if
we never tried the
Certainly.
magic dagger, right?
Maybe they
What
might be
did
able
we
to.
had? We had other stuff.
Yeah, there was like a
Boots.
necklace, I think, and
Let me see here.
Was this before Sir Richard's time?
I believe it was. Yes.
Yes.
Because I don't know what the fuck you guys are talking about.
Yeah, you were carrying this stuff, right,
The
Mildred?
stuff from the prison.
Yeah. Well, I had some of it.
Prison. You guys
Yeah,
were in
back we
prison.
had a prison. We had a lot of adventures. It was very exciting.
Yeah, you had a necklace, and it looks like a ring. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Um,
Sorry, I was
it seems that they're gonna
silver chain necklace and a silver ring. Yeah.
If you, well, it's worth asking.
Yeah. I'd like to ask.
We have more meat.
They say they come back with let us see the trinkets.
Yeah, I walk out there and show them to them.
they say, no, we need to see the trinkets.
Wait, want me to go up by your top faces?
No, they want to hold them. So they're asking you guys to basically throw them out the door.
Which thing?
Trinkets. Magic items.
They definitely seems like you can't tell if they're being sort of smart alecky through the translation, but
see them.
yeah.
But we're not going to throw them out.
Well, can I go out there?
one.
Can I be tied off and just go float out there next to them with my hand on my weapon or whatever, just like floating around while they look at them?
You
Go out there with your meaty body.
That's fine. I'll go out there with my crossbow in hand,
okay.
and then I show them the necklace.
So Richard just looked at Blackie and raised his eyebrow a little. She's crazy.
Well,
I still only have one hand. The other belongs to Bahamut. I will show them Bahamut's fist.
And I tell them that I respect them and trust that, again, in the interest of mutual self-preservation, I believe that they can use their intelligence for good here.
So you're definitely tying yourself off because it's like basically like hurricane.
Do you think one of them will take me under its like weird wing? I think that'd be kind of fun.
We'll see.
All right, so there's another sort of moment of hissing, and Zisu shudders. He's like, they're laughing at something, and they called you brave one. So Mildred, you tie yourself off and sort of just, as best you can. It's impossible to predict a trajectory in this. You sort of jump out of the ship. You guys see the rope. Are you holding on to the other end of it or something?
It's tied off, but I am holding on to it in
so
case I need to
the rope's
reel her back in.
And as Mildred, tiny Mildred approaches and starts to drift, one of the Zyrax breaks off of the group. And you see, using its momentum, it's one of its wings curls around you.
Hopefully it's not
and pulls you up into up to the formation, latches back in, so now they're again like a triple sail, and the two outside wings are sort of pressed up against you like two sort of like slats, kind of.
The sky juggalos
just
have her now.
Yeah. Mildred looks very tiny against the 3 8-foot-long
I bet
humanoids. They slowly extend their wing up until it looks like she's going to be just dropped straight down into their mouths. Flutterer Zisu is just, he's like flipping out
beside
in the
himself.
cockpit, he's just not okay with any of this. And you see Mildred holding up the trinkets. From where you stand, you just see 3 like watermelon-sized, slick black, like Pac-Man heads,
cool.
but with just like lined with teeth.
Mm-hmm.
And then just like you know how like a compound eye of a fly. If you take all the like the compoundness away and just leave one of them. Or 2 of them. That's what they have. It's like one sort of stalk, and they just see. You can't even tell if they're looking at you. It's sort of iridescent. And after a moment, the wings release you, and Mildred seems to sort of start to drift around.
I pull her back.
All right. And the Zyrax say. These trinkets are paltry.
Sorry.
They explain that the necklace will help your defensive capabilities, and the ring. The ring will assist those who make use of thrown weapons.
Good to know.
Sorry to waste your time, but thank you for...
one of them thoughtfully says, as if talking to the others, although in our world, possibly more useful than in other places where they seem to be having. And Zisu's translating everything.
Anything about the
ring
too,
for use with thrown
I only
weapons,
had-
necklaces, defense.
I had a ring and necklace. That was all I
Okay.
had.
Yeah, we don't have black
Excellent.
sheets. So.
The Zyrax say
Did you have something? I would have taken it out there.
with luck. They say with any luck, we will not see each other again. And they just break off and.
Hang on. There's still more meat.
Yeah. We got a
I
doggy
wanted
bag
all
for
the
you.
shit.
What if we need that?
There are more Zeppelins up there. I want this whole shit. And let's keep the door open. Let's air it out.
Yeah. Yeah. It smells like.
I throw the meat overboard.
It smells like Zeus just wiped his ass with a giant paper towel. And
Zeus?
Yeah, I don't know. Zeus.
I bet that would
you
smell
ever heard of
great.
Zeus?
Yeah, he's a god. It's probably like.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right.
Okay, it smells like
God shit.
It smells like Brian wiped his ass with a whole roll of paper
God
towels.
damn it.
No, don't
I'm a Norse
gods like,
god. That's awesome.
You shovel the rest of the meat. It just catches the wind and it's flicking all around. Two of them swoop around, grab it in their teeth, and they're gone. And the third one lingers for a minute.
Don't forget to give us a positive Yelp review.
He hisses something, and then he's gone. And Zisu seems to, if the flying vaginal blob could shit its pants.
What did he
it
say to
probably
you,
would.
Zisu?
Zisu,
Say that sentence again.
Zisu,
I give Zisu like a
Zisu
comforting-
shudders and he says, he said, with any luck, he will see me
Oh
again.
no! I hug him or whatever I can do, and I'm like, "Don't worry. As long as we're here, we'll protect you."
All
I
right.
told you nothing bad would happen to you.
All right.
Is there a mop on board?
No. We're gonna have to. Yeah.
Gargoyle.
We're gonna have to use some rags and some buckets.
Gargoyle could suck all that up into his void, right?
Oh, maybe.
Just throw it in there.
Blackie says, Stargirl, go rub yourself on the floor.
Gargoyle, rub.
I'm gonna clean.
Did it work?
Yeah, so he starts doing laps on the floor, and all the sludge
Do I
seems
get
to be.
experience points for that?
Yeah. The sludge does seem to be pulled into his little singularity.
And then he dies.
Now the floor is cold but clean.
Cool.
Take it.
Stargirl clean.
All right. Well,
All right, what's the plan?
Let's take a quick break, another break. I don't have anything from Blaine yet, but hopefully this break will be brought to you by something. We'll let you know what it was. And we're back.
All right, what's the plan now? Party.
Should we, how close to nighttime are we now?
You got plenty of time. You only flew for hour.
I'm
So
wondering.
let's go back to our tuft and see if the word was spread and
Okay.
So maybe if we.
all the other tufts know what's going on tonight.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we should maybe scout out.
Because are we going to try to board one of those ships if it comes back, or
Yeah,
We
could
should
we
come
split
up
up?
with a
I mean,
plan.
there's
We can board one of their ships. We can go.
there's only 4 tufts
backtrack.
left that haven't been touched, right?
Right. Yeah.
If there's 6 tufts total,
Yep.
and 2 have been.
and how many nights is it until the things are supposed to arrive?
Or did I say 6 other?
You said
6 additional.
I think
thought
you
you
said
meant
6.
6 total.
No, 6 within. I thought
okay.
it meant 6 more, but I don't know.
Hold on. Let me see. You have.
Guys, that was That was quite a high being out there flying with those things.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Were you worried they were going to eat you?
yeah. That's what makes it. That's what gives it a rush.
Did they smell bad?
Yeah. So
No,
I
they-
what I said, but there's 6 tufts.
Okay.
Sorry to interrupt.
No,
Go ahead.
please.
What did they?
What you're saying is a lot more important than what I'm saying.
Everything else smells bad. I just figured.
But these guys aren't gassy. They're
No,
just
they were-
they're just wingy and sharky.
I thought they smelled fresh.
Yeah. Oh.
Maybe it was just the fear.
Yeah. So there's 6 tufts. 2 have been attacked. 4, as far as you know, have not. But you haven't gone back and checked. Perhaps one was, because it seems a lot of people don't even know that this has happened. So perhaps they were, and you just don't know it. Now that the word's gotten around, the women could check for like the mark on the sternum, but assuming it hadn't even like healed over in the day, because it's like
that
at
would
this
be the
point
one
yours
job
has gone
I
away.
guess
So.
we wouldn't mind doing for them.
What actually might be good is if they could devise some sort of armor to wear in that spot or area, so that they don't get sucked.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's good to know though that this isn't apparently doesn't have a lasting, like they're not stealing your entire essence,
Right.
But
Unless
we
it's
think,
a repeatable,
Or soul
like
sampling.
a chronic, that could be the.
yeah, or I guess that we still
multiple
don't
exposures.
fully understand the clone situation, right?
And the Zyrax said whatever so there's no immediate,
Right.
But whoever's doing this, the reasons for it
Right.
are even worse than, yeah.
So our options are basically to wait for this to happen again, or to jump out to one of.
Yeah, you guys were planning, Brian was planning on posting up at one of the 4
Yeah,
other tufts to see, right?
Should we maybe? I was thinking, we probably shouldn't split up, but that was an idea. That maybe we stake out a couple different places.
Okay. So you guys are flying back. Blackie and Stargoyle are flying back. Going back. What tuft do you want to go to? New tuft? Old tuft?
I think
Yeah, let's go to a new
a
one.
new tuft.
Okay. So you're flying back, airing the ship out a bit.
Is there maybe any logic to like the one that they did after us? Like, were we like? Is there one that's third closest, or or second closest?
It's next
Does
in
that make
order,
sense?
sort of.
Oh, yeah, you
Yeah.
could. Yeah, you could do that.
Yeah.
Zisu will, sort of guide.
Seems like though, since we blew up their ship last night, that maybe their plans might have been altered.
The element
by,
of surprise may be lost.
yeah.
Yeah, so you go to
Still totally worth it.
You head to the next one, next one in line, according to one night, then the next night, and maybe this one is the next night. And when you get there, it seems to be sort of business as usual. You're met with a couple fellas that help you dock the ship. You pick up very quickly from the talks with them that the women on this tuft there was a
it's already happened.
There was a hit, whether it was the night that you were going or the previous night when you got struck. They're not sure, but they hadn't noticed until word came out that you guys had sent. So it looks like this tuft had been hit.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know does that change your guys' plans at all, or do you want to scan through? You've got all day, and your ship is fast, so I guess you could check the other tufts. But
Yeah, maybe we check the other tufts.
all right, one after the other, you hit all 4, and all have been. The only one that was interrupted was the one you guys were at. All the rest have been.
Can we check the progress of the collector ships on the map?
Yeah, so now you're down to about 4.5 days left.
Perhaps we should stick with the tuft tonight that we interrupted the attack. If we're going to stake
in case
one
they're gonna
out,
come back.
yeah,
That's not a
being
bad
that
idea.
that's the one tuft that has been unmolested.
Yep.
Not a bad idea.
All right, so you guys set up watches.
No, we just
I
go to
assume
sleep. No, we set up watches, yes.
And you park in as stealthy a spot as you can. Are you a ways off, or are you trying to snuggle into the tuft, or?
I guess it would be
Your best camo is probably in the branches of the tuft itself, but
Okay.
but then is it more difficult for us to
yeah, your
see and
visibility is
approach?
limited then. Yeah.
Would we ever be able to maybe put zeppelins on either side of us and sort of stay to look like we're a Zeppelin blob above.
Can I just ask what the plan is if we're watching this happen? Like, say they do jump back in. What is the?
We're gonna fight them. We're gonna try to get onto their ship.
I think a boarding party this time may be the wiser course of action.
Okay,
Right.
so maybe that affects then how we. I would think then we would want to be away from the tuft.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Away
Observe,
from the tuft.
observe, wait.
Yeah.
To see.
Perhaps with the Zeppelin camouflage.
Sir Richard, wants to.
For
stack
instance,
a
a
couple
Zeppelin driver certainly owes us his life.
Right.
We don't have a ton of time left in this episode. Is there any way we can fast forward to nighttime?
Yeah. Is that the plan?
To camouflage
get
us
some
with some Zeppelins so we can maintain a bird's eye view.
Yeah, you've got all day to square that away. The Zeppelins don't really have pilots as much as they're just almost like homing pigeons, but they help you wrangle a couple. And they just sort of, if they get distracted by anything over the course of the evening as you're sort of wrangling them, Blackie can just easily like counter their. Like, they'll see, like, a piece of branch that they want to eat, and they're like, ugh.
So we just play the A-Team prep montage music and when they're always getting ready.
Yep. So, the night...
We don't know Hannibal's plan quite.
The night goes by uneventfully.
Oh, wow.
And you confirm this by going down in the morning, and hasn't been a move on this. So.
I still feel like we have to go back to... one of our earlier, whoever's left, 12-pack or
12-pack was
12,
killed
or
taken.
He's presumed dead.
Yeah.
I think our choices are to go out, which they were when we landed here, but we have a little more information. But we can go out to meet the ship that's on its way in here.
We could also descend into the storm.
Or we can go down, or we can stand our ground here, really, right?
What's in the storm?
Death.
Something.
But they said that there's nothing there anymore.
Jerry just loves to explore.
Although they've been out of there for hundreds of years, probably. But
no, I say we gotta see this out. Either go to where these guys are coming to get us, or wait for them.
So what's it going to be? Because we can fast forward through time. If you're going to wait here, we can check nights and see if anything happens. Or if you're going to jump, then you're going to jump. But
and what's the plan? And if we're waiting here, we should have a plan, a defensive plan. Hopefully, that would include the nuclear capabilities of the ship, or we'd be like doing a montage with the Zyrax people. That's like walking on sunshine, and like they're practicing with our weapons and stuff. I'm just saying, I feel like we should be prepared. Am I wrong?
Why are we using that song?
You're right.
Because it's the most upbeat, fun song.
Well, let's hear it for the boy could work, too.
Oh, yeah, that's okay.
You too.
Salisbury Hill.
We get the rights.
What's the plan? Oh, I'm flipping the...
Oh, Jesus.
Right.
Amarth, what do you think?
I just flipped my minute glass.
I feel like we're running out of time. We need to go find them.
Yeah,
I don't think they're coming back here once they've been interrupted.
I think that's Amarth's gut, is let's go to them.
So jump and do a recon jump towards the collectors.
Okay, but before we go, I want to talk to Zissou, and I want to say...
Zissou's coming with us.
Oh, he is?
Sure.
I was going to tell him that he needs to be able to enlist the downstairs people. What are their names?
Oh, the
Zyrax.
Like that they're aware that there is a threat, as he knows, and I don't want him to put himself in danger, but that should they be attacked while we're gone for whatever reason, to know that you can somehow send a message to those guys and they will defend the planet. If not,
they may.
Can I ask Blackie to ask Stargoyle how fast we would be able to jump back?
Blackie says that he's not sure.
I think that was what we didn't know how quickly we could.
You haven't actually tried a jump, then a jump. This would be the
I do
jump
know
you're
we
about
have to shut the door.
You're the glory days of having the top down are gonna be over if you hit space. This will be the soonest. Blackie says that he's not even sure we could jump right now because it's only been a couple days since we jumped before. But there's only one way to find out.
And
I'm very excited to start killing collectors. I was brought. My life was returned to me so that I could serve Bahamut and end this threat. So if that means jumping.
Do we have a cloaking mechanism on the ship, Stargwell?
No.
So even if we jump, I mean, I just feel like we're between a rock and a hard place here. I mean,
yeah, it's because you don't know what you're dealing with, but I mean, we don't know what we're dealing with. Says Blackie.
So that timer's up.
Yep.
Right?
So what's it gonna be?
My vote is
Go
jump.
get him.
We're just gonna jump next to a giant.
Gonna jump towards the collectors. All right, that's the. If that's not the
Yes.
choice,
No, the
then
show
another
is
night
Brian
goes by.
Posehn and friends. So
Okay.
you know.
No,
I'm
we're voting.
kidding.
But
Let's vote.
But we should look at the map and see if we can jump. Is there a strategic jump that we could make where we want to appear in a nebula or behind a moon near where the collector
Yeah,
ship
like-
is?
That's smart.
So we're not jumping
Sure.
our tiny
Right.
skiff next to their large frigate
Exactly.
ship something.
Friggy dig it.
Bick and Stargoyle stare at each other for a minute. And,
Bick?
Or, Bick. Oh,
You
I
said
said.
Bick.
I went back to.
Wow, that's like
That's
an old
ancient.
character.
I flashed back to
Our
one
DM just had a weird. He
Bick.
flashed back to another
Blackie.
game many years ago.
A senior
weird.
moment.
of. Yeah. So Blackie and Stargoyle stare at each other, and
Vic is dead.
they look at it, and the map rewrites itself and wipes clear, rewrites itself, and Blackie he says we can. He's like, I don't even know if we. He's like, there's too many questions. He's like, I don't know if when we jump in, if we can keep up with this thing using our regular engines. He's like, I can. The best I can do is try and jump to within a relatively safe distance.
We
but
can
I don't-
jump just ahead of it and try and find hiding place.
The other
There.
thing, though, if we know it's coming here, is to spend the time to fortify our
Right.
defense
That's.
here.
I agree that I want to get in a fight with these things, but if we just jump into
Yes.
deep space, we have no way to board them, attack them. We have really no options. We're just going to be completely laid bare.
I am against jumping.
Okay, then let's.
Okay, so then what are the let's we can hustle through this. What are the next 3 days spent doing?
Well, perhaps we can
Investigating the ship and
go and get a call of council if they say they don't want to meet us again, but let the humans know that they might have help from below, and
Try to-
telling them that and maybe even hiding the women somewhere else, is advisable.
Is there anything to try?
Any
to create some kind
plans
of
with
weapon?
the ship and
yeah.
the tuft that the ship is attached to?
the crash ship?
Bick's.
That's what I'm saying. We should
Bick.
investigate.
Why am I
that.
saying Bick? Blackie says that he's like, there's something to that can either be weaponized,
Yeah.
or that's our most mobile tuft. So he's like, is there anything we can use to our
It would be
advantage with
nice
that?
to be able to, if that's the Alamo, if it looks like it's going badly, blow
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 the tuft.
it.
Yeah. Or
With
is
the
there a way
collectors.
we can direct that towards the ship
Right.
and blow it?
So we're going to need Blackie and Stargoyle to probably examine the capabilities of whatever energy is
But if the
supplying
ship
that
is carrying, again, if the ship is carrying thousands of hostages, basically,
I, for my part, would be less interested, even as horrible as this is, if that means starting to wipe out the collectors, that I might be all right with that kind of horrific collateral damage.
that's fine. I just don't want us to lose any information we might gain also. But
We do have the map that will point us towards other collector planets and ships.
okay,
as a
so
worst case.
so we'll attempt to try to figure out how to weaponize the thing. We will.
Okay. So we'll skip forward in time then. You talk to the council. You get them on board with the notion of asking the Zyrax for help in a pinch. Their only means of... They're just super bummed about that notion, but they're not going to argue with you, because the only means they have of getting somebody down there is stuffing a Zeppelin full of messengers and sending it down to ask for help. But they're like, what?
Well, we can go if need be. One of us, we can send a.
Well, let's fast forward to a day out, or like that day.
Well, this is all 3 days, so
Okay,
you're
and then,
working on you're working on the ship, trying to weaponize that. As far as weaponizing it, like you can't figure out how to turn it into a bomb, but you figure out how to fire the old main engines. So whether that's to move the tuft out of harm's way or to turn the tuft into a big gigantic tree bullet, then that's what you could do with that. You set up watches each night, but nothing shows up any of the rest of the nights.
Can I just interrupt you and announce that this fast forward montage has been brought to you by Kellogg's Poop Tarts. Pop-Tarts full of shit.
God damn it.
And now in dog.
Oh, thanks, Blaine. So you guys spend the next 3 days. You guys spend the next 3 days.
It's better than snoring.
Prepping, and on the last day, you're nervously watching the map. As the pings, the sort of wedge-shaped icon finally overtakes the dot that you are, and all eyes turn skyward to see.
Well,
see
we're going to save that for next
up.
episode. By the way, I haven't slept in 4 episodes now, but the other day I fell asleep getting a shave and a haircut. I fell asleep in the barber chair while the guy was using the old-timey fucking
Straight razor?
Yeah, using a straight razor on me. Well, he'd soap me up, and I'm laying on my back, and
It's
I'm
probably
exhausted.
relaxing, right?
It's really relaxing.
You get a warm towel on your face.
2 hot towels in a row.
Yeah.
He did the hot towel, and then he did another hot towel, and then he soaps me up in between, or
Jerk
whatever.
you
Yeah. That was the other thing.
Yeah.
The guy totally.
I'm always exhausted.
He whacked my cock to completion, and then I got really sleepy.
Where do you think the shaving cream came from?
But I fell asleep while. Oh no, I'm all powdered milk at this point.
Oh jeez! Somebody push stop.
It's just
Yeah.
It's weird. This is the deleted episode we're doing.
this is Brian coming. I'm coming.
Yeah. No, it's actually like when you kill the spider creatures on here. Like you hear a woman's soul. I don't know why it's a woman, but every time I come, you just kind of hear. She just sighs.
It's like the end of Raiders when all the ghosts are flying around. Face is melting. All right.
It's more like the Poltergeist house when it gets sucked in.
Yeah, and everyone's warning that the weird guy's going to come, right?
And then he
It's a
comes.
different movie.
Yeah.
Like when the tree comes through the window.
That's
That part.
Poltergeist too.
That's
No,
what
I mean
Oh,
the
it is
very end
Poltergeist
where
too.
the house just disappears. That's what happens when I come. Anyway.
Mine's like the Neo lobby shootout. I don't know. It just seems awesome. Wouldn't that be an awesome way to come?
All right.
Good night, everybody.
Sweet dreams.
You've been listening to Nerd Poker.
And stories have come.
I'm on the road somewhere. I don't know. Fucking go to my website. I'm Brian Posehn. Nerd Poker, D&D with my friends. Next week, Blaine will be back. Bye.
This has been an Earwolf Media production. Executive producers Jeff Ulrich and Scott Ackerman. For more information, visit earwolf.com.
Earwolf Radio. Punto.